Hello everybody, this is Kiereek here, and today we're talking about Shadow of Mordor. This is a review, part of the review and release series. Now this includes the DLC for the game. Now you may be wondering, what is Shadow of Mordor? Well, it's an open world hack and slash adventure based in the Middle Earth, Lord of the Rings universe. Particularly you are in Mordor, obviously from the title. It involves a lot of stealth. There are generals, and you must go around killing them, solving basically, I'd say, the revenge of your wife and son. Now, it's full of story missions. It's not completely sandbox, but there is a lot for you to do. In addition to the story missions, there are side missions such as freeing slaves, hunting beasts, gathering herbs, and generally, the universe is pretty well built. The world is well built. It's not canon, but it's still, for Tolkien fans, I think it's a nice little nod. Now, in the game, one of the neat features here is the ability to brand the orcs. Basically, you're mind controlling them. You walk up to them, you sneak up to them, or you charge your special moves, kind of, and you can brand them. They will follow your command. They'll fight for you. They won't attack you, which is really nice. And as you brand them, you can help them through the ranks, from a lowly orc up to a captain, up to a war chief. And once they're war chiefs, or heck, even once they're captains, you can direct them to attack other war chiefs and captains. It's pretty sweet. Now, the pros of this game, like I've already gotten to it a bit, but the system that functions for branding the orcs, how them move up, it's really novel. It's really unique. And it also includes a nemesis system. So when you think you've killed an orc and he's gone, bam, he comes right back. Holy shit, there he is. He's trying to kill you. It's amazing. And it's unexpected. I really appreciate it. There's a couple guys that came back like 3 times. And then at the very end, you meet that guy. I thought it was a really nice system. The combat in general, really nice, fluid, easy, maybe a little too easy, but plays really nicely. Basically, you do your regular hack and slash. You can charge up combos which activate specials like insta-kills, insta-brands, things like that. You can grab, you can leap over guys, you can counter. He's got some nice specials, and even some, I would call them like hyper specials. I don't know what they actually call them, where you get like infinite counters for 20 seconds, or infinite finishers for 20 seconds, infinite stealth kills for 20 seconds. There's archery as well, which is interesting. You can only get so many shots, so that's how they deal with arrows. They're kind of like spirit arrows, and then you got to recharge them by draining people. Now, the voice acting was top notch. I thought it was really good, not overacted. Basically, to me, Italian, he sounds a lot like Boromir, and I feel like his character was acted a lot of the same way, so I really appreciated that. They put a lot of effort into there. Now, it looks great. It's very cinematic, not only in its appearance, but in how they've designed the cutscenes and the action to play out. A lot of the times, there are some cutscenes. They do make you feel like you're watching a really exciting movie. I like it. And the look of the game, at first it seems, well, this is a really bland area, but there is a second area that's lush and green, so there's a bit of diversity there, even though a lot of things you see are the same regarding textures. The texture of buildings are very, very similar. I feel like it really fits in, and you didn't really travel that far in the game, so it makes sense they will be similar. You're not going to see a whole bunch of elvish stuff or dwarven stuff in that little area. Now, the achievements, I liked them because they're reasonable. I'm in the DLC now. I've done almost all the achievements for the main story, and I would say I'm a little bit over 20 hours of gameplay so far. That's pretty reasonable to me. There's 1 or 2 which I'm having a hard time getting. One which may possibly be bugged, but I've yet to really solidify that. But mostly they're reasonable. You get a lot of them through the story. There's some you have to go out of your way to get, but they're not impossible, and I appreciate that. Now, for the cons of the game, it does mess with the canon a bit, and like I said before, even if you're a Tolkien fan, you can hopefully look by it. There's a few things though that didn't fit in, but with I call them Celebrimbor, but I mean in the game they pronounce it with the hard C, like a Celebrimbor, which is interesting. How do you know how to pronounce something from a book, right? But there's a couple of things with him that are not canon. I don't really mind. It adds to the game, and it fits with the story, even though it's not the real deal. Now, the twist in the game, I won't spoil what it is, but I was kind of disappointed with it. I thought it was a little lame. Basically, it was a whole bunch of so what, and then everybody seemed over it afterwards. Wasn't a big deal to me. They could have built it up a bit, maybe, or made it a little more dramatic consequence-wise, but I think they kind of wrote themselves into a corner. It's a little too short, this game. Like I said, I meant 20 hours, and I guess that's reasonable now. And with the DLC adds a lot of life. I was actually pleasantly surprised with the fact that it's not just an extra mission. It's like a whole new little part of the game. But the main story itself, there aren't that many missions. There aren't very many story missions at all. And I was kind of disappointed. Even the ones that there are seem kind of disjointed, so it would have been nice if there had been a little more cohesiveness with that. There's too many Rescue the Slaves missions. I had like, I think there's 24 you do. I was really fucking tired of it by the end. They were boring. That was my least favorite variety of mission. The keyboard controls are bad. They are so bad. It is the worst shit I've ever seen. I had to use an Xbox controller because I got so tired of it. I even tried remapping them, but there's just nothing you could do to make it remapped well enough. So I suggest using a controller for sure. There's nothing you miss out on. The controls aren't that complicated that you can't do them with a controller. Now, the last boss I was also a little disappointed with. Again, I won't spoil what it is, but there were a lot of quick time events, and I'm not a big fan of those when used for the whole boss fight. Don't get me wrong, you can put one or two in a cutscene in the beginning, but let me fight that fucker. I want to bash his head in. I mean, you've been building up to it the whole game. Now let me actually do it. Don't let the cutscene do it. Finally, you get OP pretty quickly in this game. You started off, and it's like I could see how I could die a couple times in the beginning. I mean, I couldn't brand anyone. I didn't have any finishers. I didn't have all these things. The Kiereek are really fucking vicious, and they're hard to get away from, and hard to dodge. But as soon as you get all your powers, it was like, oh, well, screw me. I'm just going to use those powers and annihilate groups of orcs. It required nothing at all. Even the Kiereek or the Grogs, like, not a challenge after you get the power to dominate them. That brings me to the score. For gameplay, I was really happy with it. It's fluid, it's nice, it's got new systems that you don't really see anywhere else. I would say it's not the perfect thing at times. It does have some really good climbing mechanics, good combat mechanics, but not exactly perfect. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 3. For the addiction, I was highly addicted. It's a nice game because you can just hop on, play a mission, or kill an orc or a captain or whoever it is, and then hop off. It automatically saves. It doesn't take very long to load the game, and yeah, it's great. Checkpoints everywhere. It allows you to come back very frequently for a short period of time. That helps keep the addiction high. Not to mention that I got really into commanding the orcs and branding them, so addiction for sure, a 1.5 out of 2. The reliability, I never had any problems. It runs decently for me. Not perfect, but that could be due to my aging computer. I am getting to that point now where games that coming out are not, well, they're above what I'm capable of doing at 60 frames per second nowadays. So I give it a 1 out of 1. For the atmosphere, great atmosphere, aided a lot by the fact it's basically created in advance by Tolkien and the Lord of the Rings series, but the developers have put a lot of detail in there as well. The art design is great. The feeling of, I don't know, being surrounded at the dread of Mordor area, and then in comparison, the lush green area of Nirn. And it's great. It's great contrast. They did a great job designing it. Lots of vertical gameplay and wide, expansive areas. Really builds the atmosphere very nicely. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 2. For the replay value, I had a hard time with this one, but I finally settled on a 1 out of 2. And my logic there is that it's not really worth replaying the story, but you can basically run around and brand orcs to your heart's content. Plus, the DLC added extra replayability in my mind, so I gave it a 1 out of 2. The total score, that means, is an 8 out of 10. I think it's a pretty sweet game. It's going for, on Bundle Stars, I last saw it for $7.59 or something like that, Canadian. So if you live in the States, it's even better for you. If you're like me and you're freezing your ass off, it is not a bad deal at all. So I recommend it. Go pick it up and try it out. If you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, even better. Thanks for watching, guys. Watch more videos. I should have a gameplay video going up shortly, and there's plenty of other stuff out there as well. In the meantime, have yourself a good day, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon.